कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे जय जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तनम की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 28th chapter. Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Atmanam kanyaya grastam పాంచాలన్ అరిదుస్థితాన్ దురంత చింతం ఆపన్నో నలేభే తత్ ప్రతిక్రియాం ఆత్మానం కన్యయా గ్రస్తం పాంచాలన్ అరిదుస్థితాన్ దురంత చింతం ఆపన్నో నలేభే తత్ ప్రతిక్రియాం ఆత్మానం కన్యయా గ్రస్తం పాంచాలాన్ అరిదుష్టితాన్ దురంత చింతాం ఆపన్నో నలేభే తత్ ప్రతిక్రియాం. ప్రతిక్రియ word meaning atmanam himself kanyaya by kala kanya grastam being embraced panchalan panchala haridusthitan infected by enemies duranta insurmountable chintam anxiety apanna having obtained na not lebhe achieved that of that pratikriyam counteraction. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. When King Puranjana saw that all his family members, relatives, followers, servants, secretaries, and everyone else had turned against him, he certainly became very anxious. But he could not counteract the situation because he was thoroughly overwhelmed by Kalakanya. Purport. When a person becomes weak from the attack of old age, the family members, servants, and secretaries do not care for him. He is then unable to counteract this. Thus, he becomes more and more anxious and laments his frightful condition. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् अद्वैतं सावधूतं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तर हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, seeking blessings from His Grace Anandmai Prabhu and all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that I can speak something what I heard from superiors for my own purification and as a service to all the Vaishnavas. So first of all, I like to seek forgiveness from all devotees. Somehow throat went bad. Yesterday when it is scheduled, at that time throat is well. But today morning onward somehow throat has gone. Please try to bear with me. So this chapter explains about story of Puranjana, which is every one of us. So this chapter titled as Puranjana becomes woman in the next life. So Bhagavatam is considered it is a explanation of Bhagavad Gita. So whatever principles are taught in Bhagavad Gita are elaborately explained in Bhagavatam with so many case studies. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 8th chapter that Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nashatra asamshayaha. So one who remembers me at the time of death, he will sure to come to me. And जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की श्री श्रीता गौर सुंदर भगवान की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की श्रील प्रभुपाद की. And in the immediate sloka, Krishna says, if you don't do that, then what will happen? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejatyante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. So immediately Krishna is giving warning also. If you don't remember me at the time of death, then the consequence is whatever you remember at that time of death, you are going to get that kind of body. So this is now case study. What Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, it is explained here in this in a more practical way. It is also allegorically explained, but we have other case studies like Bharat Maharaj stories and all these things are there. So here, Puranjana is attacked by Yavana Raja. So Prabhupada explains the Yavana Raja is actually he is fear personified, and he has two more accompaniments are there. One is Prajvara, another is Kalakanya. So in one sense, everybody is killed by fear first. Attack of fear comes first. Fear kills before the person dies. So one story comes that one sadhu is entering into village and one disease personified is coming out of the village. And he asked, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am a Mahammari," means it is a great disease. So here my count is 1,000 people. I am going to kill 1,000 people. I attacked and I came. But afterwards, the sadhu comes to know the count is 5,000 people. You know, and he asked, actually, you told only 1,000 people you will kill, but here 5,000 people are killed. No, no, I killed only 1,000 people. Other died out of fear. you know. So in that way, here the first attack of Yavana Raja is the fear actually. And why that fear is there? Because the Puranjana is indulged in so much sense gratification. So a person indulged in so much sense gratification, he will become more and more bodily conscious. The result of bodily consciousness is anxiety and fear constantly. Now, if you see, so many people are full of anxiety in outside world. Why? Because why people in the olden days not so much anxiety, now so much stress is there. So that we can see the contrast actually as sense gratification increases. So automatically the other side is anxiety and fear. So here he is attacked by Prajvara. That name itself indicates Prajvara means it is excessive bodily heat, temperature, fever. So as a person he is about to die, he will be attacked by excessive fever and Kalakanya, he is like a old age personified. That is Grastam, it is embracing the Puranjana. So Prabhupada often used to recite this verse from Mukundamala Stotra. Krishna tvadiya pada pankaja panjarantam advaitame vishatu manas rajahamsa prana prayana samaye kafavata pittai kantavarodhana vibhos smaranam kutaste. So at the time of death actually our throat will be filled with mucus. Now I can experience little bit. So at that time it is very very difficult to chant the name of Lord. So it is very very difficult at that time, it is said. So in that way, life is a preparation and death is the examination. And who can perform well in the exam? Those who studied from the beginning, they can only perform well in the exam. In the exam, if I am not able to remember anything, that means I did not prepared well in the before. So not only that, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about 18 items of knowledge. So in that, one of the thing he says is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. So we have to able to see this as Dukkha Dosha. These are the doshas in this world. So we have to able to see this darshana. And in the end, Krishna says, this is only his knowledge. Other than that, everything is ignorance. This is what my opinion. So this chapter can be thought that is case study of that statement of Krishna. Dukkha doshanu darshanam. This world is. So, but a person who is blind to self-realization, actually, his life completely goes into so many things. That's what the first verse of Bhagavatam is started by Sukadeva Goswami. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nunam Santi Sahasrashah Apashyatam Atmatattvam Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. There are thousands and thousands of topics are there to discuss in this world for those who are blind to self-realization. So, but one who is keen upon self-realization, he doesn't have so many things to discuss. He has only one thing in their life, that is, perfecting his human form of life and going back to Godhead. And again, Bhagavad Gita also says the same thing. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Parhata Chetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadhavana Vidiyate. So Bhahushaka hi Anantasya. His buddhi is diversified in so many ways. So why he is diversified? Because he is stolen by bhoga and aishwarya. So and actually here Prabhupada writes in the previous verses that a person who becomes invalid, he is not attended by his family members and not given any respect. So like that it comes. So such things are mentioned actually before also. Before I used to read these things, how is it possible actually? Before, at least we can find in Kali Yuga something like that, but in previous times, you know, that culture is somewhat good, and no, they used to take care of elders and everything. So how could it be true? So it could be true in advanced Kali Yuga, but how could it be true in the previous times where there is culture is somewhat, well, but it is told, it is not true now, it is true even before also. That Shankaracharya, he writes in the Bhajagovinda Stotra the same thing. Shankaracharya lived 1,000 years before at least. So at that time only he wrote what he wrote: Yavat vitto aparjana shakta tavan nija parivaro shakta. As long as you are earning, then only parivara have asakti upon you. So as soon as the earning stops, so nobody is going to show any interest. So that Shankaracharya declared 1,000 years before actually. So this is the fact. Hmm. And he says that Yavat pavaro nivasatitehe tavat pruchati kushalam gehe gatavati vayo deha paye bharya bibyati tasmin khaye. So as long as Yavat pavana means wind is going inside and outside, till that time kushalam, people ask about kushala mangal, how are you? As soon as wind went inside and gone outside, then it didn't again went inside, then it becomes a dead body. So that body is feared by even the wife also. Bharya bibyati tasmin kai. So they will not, family members will not allow to have this body in the home for so much long time. They want it to be immediately taken out and cremated or burned immediately. So that is the plight of the this body, material body, whatever we are trying to care for it, and know, uh, do so many things for its satisfaction. And in that he says, Angam galitam falitam mundam dashanam heenam jati tundam vruddho vyapi gruhitva dandam tadapini munchati asha pindam. So this is the situation of living entity, that whole body becomes invalid and hair starts falling, teeth is not functioning, eyesight goes away. But one thing doesn't go away. What is that? That is asha, desire to enjoy in this world, that doesn't go away. So that is the most uh, pitiable thing actually. He has desires, but he can't enjoy. His body doesn't cooperate. So that is the most suffering situation actually, for a living entity. As desires are there, that remains ever fresh. Desires remain ever fresh, but the faculties in the body doesn't cooperate to enjoy. So it is said that time can destroy everything in this world. Uh, Time can destroy the whole universe also. Pralaya comes one day and the whole universe get destroyed, but time cannot destroy one thing, that is our desire to enjoy. Pralaya also comes and the whole universe also get destroyed and again new creation happens, but our desires remain the same, and we also enter into Mahat Tattva and again born with the same desires and continue our journey, life after life after life. So somewhere actually in one of the place writes, Prabhupada writes very interesting thing. Generally we see a living entity in this world, he works hard throughout every week, and 5 days in a week, 6 days in a week, and we observe that on the Sunday or Saturday they take rest, they sleep more time, and they recover from the fatigue of the week's hard work and everything. So in the same way, The living entity is trying to enjoy in this world since so many lifetimes, and it is get so much tired, and it take rest for the day of Brahma. you know a day of Brahma, a night of Brahma, that much time Brahmaji rest, that much time is required to recuperate our fatigue, and again come back with rejuvenated energy. Now I am there. Like that we see in this world now, weekly off they take, and they get recuperated and again ready for enjoyment. Similarly, living entity takes a half for that much time. The one night of so many kalpas of rest. Again, it is ready for enjoyment in this world. So, so it is said actually there are two kinds of births and two kinds of deaths are there. So one birth is the normal birth which we have from father and mother, and the real birth happens when we come in contact with spiritual master and comes to Krishna consciousness and understand the goal of life. That is the real birth. Real birth happens after the birth. But there is a real death is there that should happen before the death take place. The real death is death of our false ego. So when that real death happens, then only the death has meaning. Otherwise, if the real death of false ego doesn't happen, we don't reinstate in our constitution position of Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Dasa, then even death happens also, it is not death. Because again you take birth, पुनरपि जननम पुनरपि मरणम पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम यह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहि मुरारे. Like that, our journey continues till our real death doesn't take place. So, real death should happen before the death. Real birth happens after the birth. So, generally, it is seen in this world if some child is born, the child is crying, and people around are laughing and they are celebrating. So, but the success is, it is said that when death happens, the person should happily laughing and he should leave the body, and the people around they should be crying. That is a success. But what happens? Opposite only happens actually. The person who is about to die, he is always worried about what will happen to me and to my. Why he becomes woman? Also here it is mentioned actually. He always worries about his wife, who will take care of her, and remembering the wife, he will die. So because of that, he will get the body of woman in the next life. That's what Prabhupada writes in one of the purport before. So it is said the Krishna consciousness, whatever we are hearing, it remains more like a theory for us actually, because as long as the body is hale and healthy, it remains like a fiction or something like a dream kind of thing actually. you know so it is said this becomes more and more true as we are coming close to death. We feel it is more and more real. As we come close to death, Krishna consciousness becomes more and more relevant. So in that way, old age is also as a blessing actually for a devotee. He can realize everything whatever the Shastra is telling correct. So for a devotee, is nothing is actually unfortunate or misfortune. For him, everything is an opportunity to come close to God and realize the truths about life. So we may not realize old age. Yesterday, our Vedanta Chetan Prabhu was telling. But actually, I feel sometimes Krishna gives glimpses about that even young age also, by when you have some diseases or no attacked by some disease. At that time, some glimpses are given. What is the situation about old age? So I remember some few days, a few months before, I was suddenly attacked with some back pain, severe back pain. You know, it is very difficult to stand and bend, and you know I really felt, is it going to go away or not? Is it going to remain forever? So I could really feel what it means to be a old age, So very difficult to get up, and no, we always need some chair or support in the back, you know. So glimpses of old age actually we get in our life when you have some diseases and everything, some extreme fever, we are bedridden at that time, totally without any energy to move. At that times, these are all the glimpses of actually old age which we Krishna gives before also, provided we take it seriously. Hmm. So one thing we can see that sense gratification, time goes like anything. Time passes so fast in sense gratification. We don't realize this much time passed away. Yeah. So we used to remember during the when we are children, summer holidays come, 2 months holidays, how it went we don't know. But when the school starts, college starts, time is not going only. But holidays come, khatam ho gaya. Holidays are over in 2 months. 2 months happens like a 2 days only, it completely over. So that is what is the truth. When you try to enjoy, and we used to play cricket or something whole day, time goes like anything. Playing some caroms and business game, so many things. Hours and hours of time passes so quickly in sense gratification. And sometimes we used to see some elders also. They used to sit in cards. Actually, they sit in a circle, they pass circle like that. So like that, hours and hours. Actually, morning they sit and evening till late night they keep on playing that, rummy or something. No, they keep playing and they are not tired. Actually, sitting on floor. No, no. But when it comes to chanting for 2 hours, we require some chair and we require some support. So see, actually the same thing when it comes to spirituality, we feel time is not going away. Chanting, we are chanting 16 rounds. Abhi tak ek mala khatam nahi hua. 16 rounds. When we are reading Bhagavad Gita, I am reading since long, only half an hour over till now. Like that. When you are attending some classes also, it looks like it is long time actually. This whenever that spiritual activities. But on the other hand, that sense gratification time passes so quickly. So that's what actually the first day Maharaj also speaking, when Maharaj arrived at that time, he was telling some story about some Apsara and somebody, and he is living with the Apsara for so many years. And one day he remembered that I have to perform my Sandhya Vandana. And he told her that let me go and do my Sandhya Vandan. And she asked actually, since so many days you never did Sandhya Vandana, how suddenly you remembered? Then he told, what are you saying actually? Not so many days, only yesterday only you came na. No, my dear sir, actually, we have been living here since 9,900 years something. Yeah, she says that many hundreds and thousands of years passed away, but he felt only her association started only just one day before. So the other example also, Maharaj is explaining how Prabhupada is chanting whole day in the journey. From morning to night, actually, is continuously keep on chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, never tired. So that is a contrast. Also, we can see how a pure devotee completely absorbed in the spiritual activity, and how a materialistic person loses time in sense gratification. Also, so similar thing also we see in the story of Ajamila. Ajamila also, when he was a very young boy, at that time he comes in contact with a prostitute, and he starts living with her, and begetting children one after another, one after another. So he approaches the age of almost 90 years. At that time, still he had a child. At that time, that suddenly death comes to him, and Yamadutas come. At that time, he realizes actually, living with this prostitute, I have spent so much time. this much time passed away. He never realized only. So at that time he calls out the name of Narayana. So one interesting fact Prabhupada gives in one of the lecture, that actually he actually calls his son Narayana. So seeing Yamadutas, the son also ran away. you know. So at that time he remembers, right, this fellow is seeing Yamadutas and running away, what he will protect me. I am remembering him. So at that time he remembers Narayana, Lord Narayana. And immediately Vishnu Dutas arrive and they interrupt Yamadutas and everything. So we can see actually how time so quickly passes actually in the sense enjoyment in this world. But unfortunately, people want to do time pass. In trains, when you are traveling, they also shout time pass, time pass, time pass. It's so many things people want to do time pass. They solve crossword puzzles, and they eat something. They read some novels, and people have only one target to kill the time. You know, they use the word killing the time, but the time only kills them. We can't kill the time, but time is killing us at every moment. Unfortunately, we are thinking that we are killing the time. So, on the other hand, actually, there is one more story comes in a uh, Puranas somewhere. There is a boy who joins in Guru's ashram when he was a small kid. So he was renting service, and one day while carrying some logs of food, he happened to see his own image in the water, and he found his skin got wrinkled and his hair got white and everything. He suddenly realized, I became old. you know I came to my guru's ashram when I was a small kid. So many years passed away. I never know only that this many years went away in my guru's service. So like that he suddenly realized actually. So that is said actually it is the perfection of life actually. If you can get absorption in spiritual activities and you don't know how time went away. So this is what actually we heard from some of the devotees also. Some devotees express, Prabhuji, we don't know when we came into Krishna consciousness and know how things went away. Time passed so quickly. And we don't know when we started wearing dhoti kurta, when we started putting tilak, when we put kantimala, and when we gave up chai, coffee, onion, garlic, and everything. When we got initiated. So time went so quickly. So all of a sudden we are there at the gate of Vaikunta. So this is the perfection of Krishna consciousness actually. So this is the blessing which Srila Prabhupada gave for all of us actually in the form of wonderful association of sincere and serious devotees. In their association, we are trying to practice Krishna consciousness with some ups and downs and everything. But still, it is a great blessing actually if you can feel that time is passing very happily in the association of devotees. So, in that way, Krishna practice of Krishna consciousness becomes so joyful in the association of sincere and serious devotees with so many wonderful spiritual engagements. What we have in the name of so many festivals, in the name of kathas and kirtans, and in so much way actually we have the equal opportunity to do some spiritual sense gratification in the association of devotees and very quickly wind up whatever our business is there in this world. So I will end with one story that so in one of the guru is there, he is running one ashram, and in that so many students are there. They are undergoing their life practice and everything. So one new boy comes and he knocks the door and he asks that I also want to join your ashram. I want to have self realization, God realization, he says that. Then the guru says actually, see my dear son, it is not so easy thing actually. It is, you have to practice for many years. And afterwards, again, there is no guarantee that you will get what you want. At that time, if you don't get what you expected, you feel sad and you feel that I wasted my time. So better you think about it and you take decision. Afterwards, you should not lament. I joined ashram for so many years and no, I didn't got what I want. And that too, you are not so educated. That boy who comes is not so well educated, and he want to, you can't understand shastra and all these things also. So he says, no, I well prepared and came. So I want to realize God. So please give me opportunity. And then the Guru says, well, but because you are not so educated, you cannot mix with other people. So I will give you one special engagement. That is, here all the ashram people require some rice in their day-to-day practice. So they eat rice. So your service is, in those days there is no mills and all these things. They keep on, smashing the rice with some long, bamboo kind of thing. So you keep on beating the rice. And while beating the rice, keep on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So, when you are hungry, eat prasadam. When you are tired, take rest. And when you are again up, continue the same service. Keep chanting and keep beating the rice and keep on doing. That is only you have to do, nothing else. And you no need to come to me to ask anything. If anything is there to tell you, I will only call you. You don't no need to meet me also. So like that, he sends the person. So like that, the days are going, and that person is beating the rice and chanting Hare Krishna and spending his life. So many years passed. So and many other ashram, other monks are also there, and they did not so much paid attention to this boy. Somebody is the unpaid fellow, what. So one day the Guruji announced to the students that, so I am becoming old now, so I want to appoint a successor among you. So but I want to test actually what is your realization. So depending upon that, I will select one of you as my next successor. So I want you to write. I am keeping one board in front of my room. You write your realizations, and I will read and I will find out one of that. So okay, then many students write. In that, some are scholarly students are also there. So like that, everybody thinks he is a very learned scholar. So Guruji will select him only. So he also writes his realization. So then the Guruji comes and sees all these things, and he asks that particular realization scholar, who is this fellow who wrote? Then they say, so and so student. This fellow did not understood anything. He is a bookish fellow. Yeah? He is a rascal like that. He scolds, and all the other people become so alert. Why Guruji is saying like this? So there is a big discussion among all the students. So Guruji called him. No, he did not understood anything. So what could be more than this? So while they are discussing, that happened to be heard by that fellow who is beating the rice. And he also laughs, and he remains silent. So they see, why you are laughing? Did you understand anything? He says, yes. What Guruji told is correct, he says. So then he says, you know something better than this? He says, yes. But I don't know how to write. Okay, no problem. We will write for you. You can just tell. Then he says something and they write. And Guruji sees that. And he asks actually, who is this fellow who wrote this? and he becomes so impressed, so pleased by this guy, and he calls him in secret, and he tells, "My dear son, you understood the essence of scripture." So, and he gives his own dress and danda and kamandalu, and he tells, actually, you go from this ashram and you can open your own ashram. You no need to preach also, people only come to you searching because we have realization. Yeah, I am blessing you and sending you. Like that, he sends actually to that. Why? So, basically, what that scholar wrote and what this fellow wrote, if you want to know, you will be eager to know, right? So, what that scholar writes is actually this something like in Bhagavad Gita we read na, that this body is like a chariot and senses are like five horses. Intelligence is like a sardi and mind is like a reins of the. So we have to keep our senses under the control of mind and intelligence so that it will take you to the destination. So something like that. That fellow writes, that scholar. And Guruji sees and he is not so impressed. But the other person who, that rice beating fellow, what he writes is actually, he writes something like, Gurumukha Padmavakya Chittate Koriya Aikya Arana Korihumane Asa. If your mind is completely absorbed with the instructions of Guru, where is a question of mind only, first of all. Because Guruji told you keep on beating the rice and chant Hare Krishna. He did not thought anything beyond that in his life. So where is the question of controlling the mind? Where is the mind first of all? Because there is no mind, doesn't exist only. So if mind doesn't exist, then why to control it first of all? So that's what he writes actually. So Guruji says this is the perfection of life. In your life, there is nothing exists other than the instructions of Guru. So that's what we can see in the life of Prabhupada also. In his life, there is nothing other than the desire of his spiritual master. So, spiritual master told, print books and preach. So that's what he thought. There is nothing else in this life to deviate, and so that to control the mind, bring the mind back. All these things are not existing actually. So that so it is said following the instructions of Guru is as good as seeing Krishna face to face. So this is the goal of life actually. On the contrary, what Puranjana story tells. So that is a perfection of life which we can attain in our life. So thank you all very much. Please forgive me for anything which I spoke beyond my realization. हरे कृष्णा ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की हरे कृष्ण. Actually, I was instructed to end by 9 o'clock only yesterday because the program is there further. If Anand Maipro want to add anything, just turn out. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.